everybody, One of Wisdom here. We just unboxed the amazing looking Sea Shadow here, and I figured with that done, we ought to stick to that theme. We ought to stick to the sea vehicles, and that means we can come in and take a look at not just the vehicle, but the character as well, which we will do in a separate video. We're going to be unboxing Dive-Clops after this, but right now, we're going to take a look at Dive Bomber. So, obviously, signature driver with the signature vehicle, etc. If you were to put Nightfall, Deep Dive, Gill Grunt, whoever, it doesn't matter. They're not going to supercharge it, but Dive-Clops will. So this is your perfect combo, your match made in heaven, whatever you want to call it. We'll just stick with supercharged combo. So he's coming up. This guy is heavy too. I thought he'd be like a little runt, you know, kind of like a mini. This thing is probably twice as heavy as the vehicle. That's pretty unexpected, so I'm expecting good things from him based on that. But here we have the Dive Bomber. This is a water element vehicle. If you get to a point in the game where you need a elemental gate for a vehicle, this is one that'll get it done for water. And as you might expect based on the aesthetics and the name Dive Bomber, this is a sea vehicle. So there's the packaging, very pleasing to the eyes with the blue in the background. It's got the nice tidal wave backdrop there for Dive-Clops. Coming around to the backside, there's our inset artwork. I'm excited to kind of see how this thing attacks, more so than anything else. But if you take, again, Dive-Clops, pair it with Dive Bomber, you get a supercharged version. It has a blue aura, special perks, all that good stuff. Coming over here, you got the Jetstream, the Sea Shadow, Crypt Crusher, and Dive Bomber. Shameless self-promotion there. So let's go ahead, nearly dropped it, and free this guy. See what it's got. Is it going to be taped? Is it going to be loose? I don't know. We're going to find out, though. This thing, it was available at launch. You should have very little trouble finding it. It's a sweet looking vehicle, though, I have to say. For some reason, just like the blue, the light blue, the green, they sort of, it looks like a bath toy. I mean, it's just got that kind of like playful vibe going down, you know? So here it is taped, and it's across the plastic and the label. So if you want to use this for storage, cut it out now, cut the tape. Just if that's what you're concerned with, take precautions. I don't care, I just want Dive Bomber out, so I'm going to bend that back like so. We'll come in, try to control the base, and pop it loose by manipulating the plastic. Got that done. And that tumbles down. So, oh, that's cool. So the propeller turns. I love the green on there. That'll give like the illusion of motion. And again, it does seem like a bath toy. That said, do not put this in the water. That is not advisable. So this is a cool looking ride now that it's kind of freed up. I have to say. It's got, oh, and that turns too. Okay, that turns the prop. Alright, I like that. That's above and beyond. They could have just had both of them turn, but as you can see, as I spin that, the wheel spins, and as we spin this, the propeller turns. So, very nice touch there. But once again, just the combination, sort of this like bright sea blue, the white, and then sort of like this lime green color. It just creates like a very playful, again, this is something like when I was a kid, you know, you would have a bath toy similar to this. It would probably dunk, and then you could turn it or squeeze something, and water would shoot from the torpedoes or something. So, looks very, very good in my opinion. There's the steering wheel. I'm trying to get that to focus. Yeah, you can kind of see that like pinwheel effect on it. That's kind of a cool touch. That looks like a couch out of the Jetsons or something. Now that I'm like looking in there past the steering wheel, like I could see George Jetson sitting in that. That's pretty interesting. But coming down here, you've got the banding material, sort of like a steel riveted effect for the torpedoes and whatnot. Where's our water element logo? It's got to be somewhere, right? Somewhere. Oh, that's clever. You see what they did there? I was looking for it down here, and they've actually got a translucent clear water element logo. So kudos to whoever came up with that. It might just be that they didn't have the real estate down here. But that's kind of a cool little touch, unexpected if nothing else. I've got to say, man, these torpedoes, you could have some fun custom paint with this guy, could you not? I like the ladder here. That's a cool effect. Generally with a submarine, you got like this giant, you know, like cylinder-shaped orb of steel, right? And so you can't easily, you know, like scale that by foot or just, you know, sticking your fingers on it. You're not going to be able to climb it. And so there's always ladders, so that's nice. It seems like somebody might have nautical experience or at least Googled something before I came to design this, so that's always good. Now, I think I'm seeing through there, through these side vents. I've got the very dull old knife. Oh yeah. Do you see my knife blade there coming through? So that is open to the inside. That's cool. I wonder if they did that because they were afraid kids would put this in the water and they needed it to drain out to maybe keep the RFID chip. But you can see my knife kind of sneaking around in there. I don't want to tear the rich Corinthian leather on the inside, so we'll abort that mission. But what I was going to say, something that I think might have set this off a little bit more is if we added some silver to it. If this was trimmed out, even just on this front lip in a silver, and then we blacked that out, it would sort of add depth, kind of look like a side vent or an intake of, sorts. That would have been a pretty cool touch, but as is, it's just a very playful color scheme, and I can't complain too much at all about it. Pretty big fan. And again, the fact that this happens, that's cool. I don't know if I should obviously, what I thought would be cool with Sea Shadow, and this is a no-go. I'll just be honest with you. It's a bad idea. It's a great idea, good intention, but bad to implement. But if you could press down on the cockpit glass, and this would have lit up, and the back would have shone out a light, that would have been cool, would it not? That said, this is neat. I'm enjoying that. And the way the green is, you turn it, it's not on every blade, for example. This has green, that has green. The one in the middle, nothing. Same on this side. So that's how you kind of create that more of a motion aspect, if you will. So very cool stuff in my opinion. In addition to the Dive Bomber Submarine awesome bath toy thingy, we get the sticker sheet and stat card. There's really no stat card in this case. There's no stats at all. It's just a sticker sheet. Sad face, I know, but I'll archive it nonetheless, just as if it were a stat card for old time's sake, I suppose. Very cool artwork. You get a feel for how Dive-Clops would sit inside, and there it is, Dive Bomber. So you can use that on your collection poster, lockers at school, notebooks, whatever you want to do. What I like to do, though, is come in and take this a step further than most people. So if you want to use Dive Bomber, he's got 2 attacks. You're going to have twin torpedo tubes. Obviously, you might have guessed that. Tap attack 1 to launch torpedoes. I'm seriously looking forward to doing that. And then you've got attack 3 is going to be deep sea sonar. Tap attack 3 to mark enemies with a sonar ping. Torpedoes seek out marked targets. So kind of a twofold deal that works together. I don't see any real downside just yet with that. If you want to use Dive Bomber, though, you need some patience while learning how to handle Dive Bomber. Your ability to handle it smoothly decreases as its speed increases. When you're at top speed, even a slight nudge on the controls turns into an overcorrection. That is no bueno. As if to make up for the lack of handling, yay, Dive Bomber comes with 2 good attacks. Use deep sea sonar to damage every nearby racer. Seriously? I wouldn't think sonar would do that, but hey, this is Skylanders, and if it does, that's fantastic. Unless it's used against us, and then it's horrible. But, so apparently, use deep sea sonar to damage every nearby racer and mark them for torpedo attacks. Even without using deep sea sonar to mark targets, the torpedoes track whichever opponent is in the reticle when they're fired. So essentially, if we're coasting down here and Sea Shadow crosses our path, comes in the reticles, we can fire it off, and then if Sea Shadow whips off this direction, the torpedo should track it. So that's kind of a cool deal. Now, if you're getting destroyed by Dive Bomber, they say trailing Dive Bomber is much safer than leading it. Same thing with Crypt Crusher there. Take advantage of its lesser acceleration and handling by administering finishing blows in corners and spots just past boost rings. That's cruel. Hopefully you won't be the only person passing, and Dive Bomber's torpedoes will have multiple targets. So, pretty cool information there. We're going to set him down. I'm going to take you through here. We'll start with the horns. That's kind of the least exciting to me. You got the Dolphin Disorienter, the Blaring Seahorn, Lost at Sea Signal, and the High Pressure Whistle. Now coming over here to our performance mods, you got torpedo buoys, plus 10 top speed. You got the Substream Jets for plus 10 acceleration. You got the Flex Floaties, +10 handling there. And lastly, Archean Echo Guns. You knew with the Archean in the front it was going to be OP, and it is with +300 armor. Now right here with specialty mods, you got the Power Propeller, +10 handling. Deep Dynamo will give +10 acceleration. Mr. Squeaks, +10 top speed. I think that should be more than that, but that's just me. That's a pretty cool turtle tail. And lastly, you got the Aqua Splitter, +150 armor, +10 acceleration, +15 weight. So, again, pros and cons across the board. There's the stats. I wish we had solid numbers, but we don't. So, sad face. That's it. It's a pretty sweet looking ride. I have to say, though, the color scheme here, instead of being like kind of the bright green, that sort of looks like a tarnished brass, you know, like something that's been underwater for a while. That's pretty cool. However, I feel like they probably went with this bright green color because it's more playful. If they made this look like tarnished brass, I would appreciate it. I would tell you about it. Some of you would be like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. It's like it's been underwater. But the target audience, the kids and their parents, are going to be like, oh, that looks gross. You know, that's going to be the common response to like a tarnished brass on this, you know, toy essentially. So I think the green was a good choice. It gives that vibe, you know, if you kind of pick up on it. And then similarly though, it just pops. And like I said, I think it's a very playful color combination here, and it definitely looks like a bath toy. Once more, don't do that. But that is that. This is the Dive Bomber. We're going to come in, take a look at Dive-Clops. We'll put those two guys side by side to see how they look together. You got any questions or comments, feel free to ask. You can hit them up here in the comment section or the Skylander Club Forum. Maybe somebody else can help you out. SkylanderClub.com. There's no pole battles here yet. There's no there's no dark dive bomber, no nitro dive bomber, so we don't have anything to compare it to. It's kind of a standalone deal on its own, happy as a little lark or submarine. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you have not already. Tons more Skylander SuperChargers action coming your way. You can follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Once again, thanks for watching, and for myself and Dive Bomber, we will catch you back here next time.